What's going on, everybody? It's Bobby from Bobby's Big Board once again, and today we're breaking down some players that have had their value rise per keep trade cut and players that are losing value in terms of keep trade cut over the past couple of weeks. We'll say a month. Some of these guys, retirements are taken into consideration, OTAs, post-draft buzz, some legal situations even. So let's go ahead and let's dive right into who's climbing and who's falling. Okay, guys, let's jump right into it with, we'll say, my number 5 risers thus far, just according to Keep Trade Cut. I'm basically going off of the top 5 biggest jumps in terms of value over the past few weeks to a month, and then the same thing for the fallers, who's dipped most. And this is NFL players and rookies, so let's go ahead and dive right into Pat Bryant. So he's a guy that I had some questions about coming out of Illinois. I did love his size and overall build at the wide receiver position. I thought he would probably be a day 3 pick. He actually goes kind of early in the 3rd round to the Broncos, which all in all, he's got some of the most complete tools in terms of the wide receiver position. He's got the size, he's got the long speed, absolutely, has some solid yak ability, and is good in contested catch situations. The only issue that I didn't really love about him was his get off the line speed. His burst off the line was not very fast, but once you got him vertical down the field, he was burning everybody on tape. Also, Illinois was a terrible team last year, so he really didn't get a lot of chance to produce last season, so his production isn't the best if you go look at his stats right over the past couple years. But overall, I do love the talent. I do love where he's going in the Broncos, just because I think he's probably going to be replacing Devon Vele in the slot a little bit, and I think he's the long-term Cortland Sutton replacement as well. They drafted him fairly highly, I mean, in the 3rd round, early 3rd round. So I haven't heard much buzz about him from the Broncos camps. They kind of keep things under wrapped a little bit, but just in terms of nobody kind of knew who he was, and you see his value went from basically nothing to a lot. And yeah, I really think he's going to be a solid contributor for the Broncos offense as early as year 1. And if he doesn't produce year 1, like I said, once Cortland Sutton moves on, he will probably be replacing him unless they draft another receiver down the line. All right, so another guy here that I've been infamously low on all off season long, because I figured the Bucs were going to grab a receiver at some point, and that's just going to hurt Jaylen McMillan's value. Another thing, I wasn't really impressed with him when Godwin and Evans were both out. I thought he was I mean, I really thought he wasn't that great, in my opinion. But, he still got out there, was, a fairly average to slightly below average slot receiver for them last season. But the thing that really blows up this guy's value, and you can see it hasn't even gone down to where it's fully going to go down to, because they drafted Emeka Egbuka, who I perceive as a slot specific guy at the next level, and that basically just takes away so much opportunity from McMillan, unfortunately. Like I said, I wasn't really impressed with him last year, and I was kind of telling people to sell him because he was going for like a mid-2nd round pick somehow. So I told everybody to sell this guy, got some pushback on it. Just like some of my other takes, you're gonna see with some of these fallers. I was telling you guys all offseason to do this, so yeah, my takes may seem crazy in the moment, but when they happen, don't be surprised when I tell you guys I told you so. But for Jaylen McMillan, yeah, I don't know his path to production now with Emeka Egbuka there. He's probably a depth piece. A depth piece at this point. So one of the things I did get wrong over this past offseason, I was telling people to sell on Chase Brown, which I still think you should sell Chase Brown at this point in time, but I was telling you to sell him just because I thought the Bengals was going to draft a running back sub day 3, so 4th, 3rd, 2nd round, somewhere in there. But they didn't. They actually end up taking Taj Brooks later on down the board in the 6th round. But guys, Taj Brooks, if you go look at his production profile at Texas Tech last year, he didn't have a single game under 100 rushing yards. And he scored in every single game but one game. He had like, I think 1,500 rushing yards and like 15 plus touchdowns last year. This guy is pretty elusive in terms of his agility. If you go look at his agility score on Player Profiler, it's like 90th percentile or something like that. For a guy that's a prototypical power back, I think he's going to basically slot in immediately and be that Zach Moss type of rusher for them early on. I think he makes the team as well just because their running back room is so thin. So yeah, don't expect Taj Brooks to not be involved in this Bengals offense, probably by midseason a decent amount. But yeah, I love the pick here. I thought it was pretty solid value. I had like a 5th round grade on Taj Brooks, so you're getting him basically another round for free here. So good, a great BMI score as well. So yeah, I mean, I think he'll probably get a good bit of carries this next season. So be on the lookout for Taj Brooks. You can basically get him for like a 3rd round pick at this point. And if you guys don't believe in Chase Brown like I do, just saying, Taj Brooks might be your guy with a 3rd round rookie pick. All right, so a little bit of a sad story here. We got Jordan Travis, unfortunately retiring this past week just due to the injury he sustained on his leg, and I guess the rehab has not been going good for him, unfortunately. He was having a decent amount of buzz last offseason just because they didn't know if Aaron Rodgers was going to be fully healthy to start the year. Is he going to get hurt? Is he not going to be good? And obviously Jordan Travis isn't going to come in possibly and be that quarterback after Aaron Rodgers leaves. So he was rostered in a lot of leagues. I did like him at Florida State when he played. I thought he was a solid quarterback. I thought he was really athletic as well. Thought he might be a decent dual threat at the next level. Not like a Lamar Jackson or anything, but unfortunately he has a leg injury and ends up retiring. Kind of a sad story, but obviously his keep trade cut value is going to be in the dirt now. So yeah, just if anybody has Jordan Travis on their roster, he's probably droppable at this point. But yeah, kind of leaves a hole at the backup quarterback position for the Jets right now. So we'll basically see who they end up taking behind Justin Fields and see who they rock with there. But yeah, all in all, sad story for Jordan Travis here. All right, next up we got a guy that kind of had his value explode due to another guy on this list that we'll get to here shortly. But yeah, man, he was a guy that Tyler Shuck, he wasn't really a guy that I was super high on just due to the lengthy injury history. He had back-to-back season-ending injuries. 2 of them were a broken collarbone, which guys, not the best for quarterbacks in all honesty, but the Saints must have loved what they saw. I mean, he's got great size at 6'5", like it says here, over 220 pounds. They drafted him in the early 2nd round, which to my knowledge that's probably going to mean he's starting. I wasn't super in love with his arm strength. I thought it was fine, but people were saying he's got a cannon. I just didn't see that at Louisville because he didn't throw down the field all that often. He was kind of a short, intermediate guy for the most part and really didn't put the ball in harm's way, which is a good thing. I think he's going to be like a decent spot starter, like a Case Keenum, something like that at the next level. So his value is kind of skyrocketing right now just because he's going to be a starting quarterback more than likely next year, pretty much all season. But I kind of liked what I saw out of Spencer Rattler, that gunslinger mentality. I think he offers you a little bit more upside than Shuck. So we'll see how they do in training camp and see who ends up winning that starting job. More than likely it's going to be Shuck unless the GM just loves to get fired. So we'll see how that goes. But overall, I mean, if you guys are looking to sell, if you're needy at the quarterback position and you can sell a late second or something like that to grab him, I think it's fine. He's just going to be a spot starter next year. You don't expect any crazy production out of him though. All right, up next, it was a guy that I was relatively high on coming out of Texas. It was Isaiah Bond. Unfortunately, goes undrafted and still hasn't been picked up just due to some legal situation that he's in right now. Not looking very good for him, unfortunately. I'm not going to talk on it too much, but if you want to do your own research and go check out what happened to Bond, by any means, go do that. But unfortunately with Bond, I thought he was, second, third round grade for me. Loved his speed out. I mean, it's basically unguardable on film. I mean, he's so fast. I know his 40 time was like a 4.42 or something like that, which obviously isn't bad by receiver standards, but we thought Isaiah Bond would run in the mid 4.2s in all honesty, because that's how fast he is on film. I don't really care about what he ran. I saw what he saw. I saw what I saw on film, which is he is an absolute burner. Weird kind of production profile, because considering he's one of the more hyped prospects before the draft, before his legal situation took off. I mean, people were putting him in the first round in some mocks, and he just doesn't have any production. I mean, he doesn't have any consistent production. I think he has one 100-yard game in his entire career, so it's definitely questionable for sure. But if he gets picked up after he settles his court situation and hopefully avoids jail time, we might see him on the field this year, maybe next year. We'll see, depending on if he gets proven innocent or not. We'll see. But yeah, all in all, for Isaiah Bond, tough look for him, and he's probably gonna end up having to fight to sign to a team this season, in all honesty. All right, guys, so like I said, some of my takes are a little crazy in other people's viewpoints, but I was telling you guys all off season, if you're doing your rookie drafts before the NFL draft, grab RJ Harvey. He was one of my top sleepers in the draft. Whenever I was talking about him, he was a day 3 pick projected. He ends up going in the late second round to the Broncos. Love what this kid puts on tape. I mean, he is an absolute high upside slam at the running back position. 5'8", 205, great BMI for, the workhorse type of back. I mean, he has some of the best elusiveness in the class, some of the best speed in the class. I think he ran a 4.4. I think he may have ran even faster than that. I think he ran sub 4.4, but absolute burner, can make you miss in a phone booth. Great, pretty solid age as well, 24, and great draft capital. I mean, and Sean Payton knows how to use his running back, so he's been getting a lot of buzz here lately, and I hope that if you were watching my videos before your rookie drafts, you were able to grab him, because I have him as like my 11th, 12th best player, so I do have him as a first round talent in your rookie drafts. So yeah, if you can trade for him or whatever you need to do, he's one of the highest upside running backs in this class outside of maybe Genty and Travion Henderson. So if you guys can grab this guy, I think it would be a great idea for you if you're needy at the running back position. So whenever I was talking about Tyler Shoug's value exploding over the past couple weeks, it's because of this guy. So pretty much all offseason, we've been talking about Derek Carr and his shoulder issue that may or may not be needing surgery. Well, it needed surgery, and he basically retired. He announced his retirement last week, basically getting his signing bonus, which I think was like $10 million or so. So it was more like a business retirement. So I would expect him to come back after next season, since he's only 34 years old. But yeah, for this season, he didn't really seem like he wanted to stay in New Orleans. Seemed like he was pretty frustrated there. So I would expect him to sign a contract in 2026. So definitely wouldn't sell him for nothing right now, but his value is absolutely in the dirt because he's a retired quarterback, right? So I would expect him to come back and join a QB needy team in 2026. So don't worry about that too much. I'd probably stash him if you have the roster spot and wait till 2026 when he comes back and plays for the Raiders again or something like that. So yeah, unfortunate story for Derek Carr. He'll get healthy with his shoulder and make a comeback in 2026. Pretty sure. I've been talking about this guy all off season. He was in my first sleepers video I put on the channel. I think that was my very first video I put on the channel. He was up there in terms of my sleepers, my top 5. And then my post-draft sleepers video, this guy was number 1 on the list. People aren't talking about him. People are still not talking about him. He goes to a relatively small school at Washington State, you know, has a big-time breakout year. Man, he's so good. Guys, he's so good. He's got that perfect type of yak frame at 5'11", 190 pounds, like that DJ Moore type of size. Got picked in the 3rd round to a wide receiver needy team, in all honesty. All they have is Stephon Diggs, basically, and Demario Douglas. He's going to start on the other side of Stephon Diggs on the outside, and man, he has some really good vertical speed, some of the best releases in the class. A solid yak guy as well if you want to use him on end arounds or screen passes, things like that. He's 22, he'll be 23 when the season starts, but guys, if y'all can pick him up in y'all's 3rd rounds of y'all's rookie drafts, he is a steal at that price. I'm telling you guys, a steal at that price. I saw the talent on film. I fell in love with it immediately. He's got so many kind of DJ Moore qualities about him that you're gonna be regretting your decision if you don't take him in your drafts. And if you can't get him, try to trade for him. I'm even seeing him go undrafted in certain rookie drafts, which is absolutely insane to me. Pick this guy up while you still have the chance. All right, I don't want to do many more victory laps about the Shedeur Sanders situation, because in all honesty, what he's putting on in the media right now at rookie minicamp is actually pretty solid. But yeah, unfortunate fall for Shedeur Sanders. He falls all the way to the 5th round, and instead of him being where he was projected, which was a top 15 pick. Yeah, apparently he really sandbagged some interviews and really hurt his chances of going pretty early. But the Browns grab him, which is kind of a terrible landing spot in all honesty, because they have 5 quarterbacks on the roster right now. We can subtract Deshaun Watson from that if we want, just because I don't think he ever plays a snap for him again. But in all honesty, you know, he's staying after practice, throwing to some, you know, undrafted free agent receivers. He actually had some pretty solid throws at minicamp that I saw. One really solid back shoulder end zone throw that was about a 25-30 yard pass. I've never doubted his accuracy and his ball placement. It's up there with the best in the class. Just, you know, I did see the same issues at minicamp where, you know, he's holding the ball way too long, drifting back in the pocket a little bit. So he's going to have to get those coached up and changed, or he's going to get annihilated by defensive lines at the next level. But all in all, I think he's probably a buy low at this point, because the way the Browns are talking, anybody in that QB room, I think everybody's going to get a chance to start in that QB room. There's going to be Joe Flacco probably to start the year. Then they'll throw in Gabriel and throw in Shedeur at some point throughout the season. They're just kind of experimenting. Definitely it'll be curious to see how he does in the preseason with all these hungry rookies trying to earn a roster spot. So we'll see how he does there. But yeah, I mean, he's probably a buy low at this point. If you can get him for a 3rd or 4th round pick, I mean, and you're trying to hunt starting quarterback upside, I think that's probably a decent move. But yeah, I was telling everybody this kid's not a 1st or 2nd round pick in my opinion, and NFL teams agreed with me there. So all in all, hopefully he gets some starts next year and he can impress and, you know, carve out some sort of career, in all honesty, because I think he's accurate enough to do it. All right, and there's some top 5 fallers, top 5 risers per Keep Trade Cut, just going over their situations and stuff. Who do you guys think gained the most value and lost the most value post NFL draft? Let me hear your takes in the comments. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stick with Bobby's Big Board for more Dynasty breakdowns all off season long. I'll also be doing some film breakdowns as well on the rookies, probably week 2, week 3, going over their film, kind of things like that. So yeah, keep on the lookout for that, and thank you guys for watching as always, and we'll see you guys next time.
Hey.